any public comments, Scott? No public comments. And this is our grant work project workshop. Is there anything we need to discuss? Between Ms. Hill, is there anything we need to discuss between the court?
Karen's got her RFP ready. We should be getting that out fairly soon.
Okay.
I did get the expenditure report completed and the $10 million allocation.
Okay. On like on the first
For
rule,
the revenue.
for the first, yeah, so the 10 million can be spent.
That's how we completed it.
Okay. The security, cybersecurity stuff, and Karen's, do you know what the total of that was?
Karen's going out for proposals.
Okay.
About 850. My stock here was like 68.
Yeah, I wondered if, so there's still 10 left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because theirs won't come out of the 10, because they're already approved
We
out.
had to report the expenditure of the grant works. The expenditure works differently with this one. Once you obligate the county, you have to report the obligation.
Okay.
And then as we go through and write actual checks, we lower the obligation and show its expense. It's a
Okay.
little bit different report than what we're used to working.
Good.
That's why you've seen the budget amendment for Trot.
Yeah.
This morning, because I've got, the next quarter will report the obligation to Trot.
Do we have anything to ask, Mr. Bass?
Yeah, I think,
Oh.
we discussed this morning.
I gave his contact information to Trot and then was going to contact him there. So find out exactly what we're talking about.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, if they call me, I'll answer any question. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, you know, and I was just trying to save some money. If we save some money through the grant process, you know, that's my deal. I mean, just a little bit of money.
I'm just trying to say money.
Part of that deal can come out of the Justice Court Security Fund, but not the whole bill, because what he's looking at is the whole annex.
Yes,
So the adult probation part can't come out of the
Right.
Justice Court.
no.
Well, do they have panic buttons?
They did that.
Now,
They have paid, but yes, they do. I think they- there's a chance for. So it's not, I mean, if they want to pull out of the budget, but also, I don't know if y'all ever pulled anything out of the IT, fund, but this can also be paid for that.
Other IT technology.
It's a technology. fund.
But it's one thing,
It's a
either or, it's security or technology, you still only
But
pay
we
a
can't
portion.
pay for adult probation out of JP money.
If you're looking at maybe a third. of
They'll
it,
fall,
yeah.
they'll fall my eyes out.
If you got four buttons in JP, you got 8 buttons, and so you're looking at a third of the cost being on the JP side, 2/3 of it being.
Well, actually, you can pay for the actual wireless bridge to the court security fund, and then, you typically what happens in all the counties that we do, if something like this happens, The county buys the bridge, they buy their portion of buttons, and then the probation will pay for their individual buttons, which are about $150 a piece. So when you're almost talking about $1,000, we probably use $1,000.
Yeah. Do they still watch that fund, Sandy?
I'm sorry?
That justice court,
Yeah.
security?
I'm not supposed to be. You and Judge Wilcox.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You turn that.
Hello, Van Zandt County. This is William Bass with GrantWorks here.
Hey,
Morning.
hey, Mr. Bass, we've called the meeting to the order. Is there any updates from you?
Yeah, I just have some updates just regarding the two other projects that are in progress. Scott should have received some quotes from the historically underutilized businesses for his software security. I sent him an email yesterday that he can go ahead and with the documentation that he'll need to put in the procurement file for that. So Scott, if you want to give me a call after this meeting to discuss that, or send me an email.
Nobody sent a bid, even people that said they were gonna participate, nobody ever followed up and did. After I sent out that email.
Oh, they didn't send you bids, even though they said they would.
There was two that said they would, and they did not.
Okay. Well, we'll just document that we solicited, we made an active solicitation to them. Since, obviously you gave them a timeline, they should have put a bid in. We can't be hanging out forever if we solicited to them and they didn't put in bids. So we'll just put in the just include in the procurement documentation file, the email that you sent to them. Just note that we made an active solicitation to them.
Copy you on all the solicitation emails. So we both have copies of those.
Yeah, well, we'll just put all that in the procurement file just to document that we made an active effort to reach out to them, that you didn't receive any quotes regarding, and then you can proceed with selecting your preferred vendor, which I'm guessing it would be the original vendor, most likely.
They were the lowest cost.
Okay, great. Yeah, and he registered with sam.gov, so we're good to go with doing business with them.
Okay. I need to follow up with it. Then you send me all the documentation. Do that.
Okay. Yeah, and then I did have an opportunity to meet with Karen last week regarding the file conversion project. She did put together an excellent draft sort of RFP packet with the requirements and the insurance and the bonding and basically what Van Zandt County is looking for out of the file conversion project. The only piece of the puzzle which I'm working on is we will need to perform a cost analysis before putting this out on the street because it is over $250,000. So per the 2 CFR 200, for anything that's over $250,000, we do need to perform a cost analysis, which cannot be done with quotes. So it's kind of tricky informing a cost analysis for a project of this scale. So I'm working on getting some feedback from our procurement team members on how we can go about doing that cost analysis. But yeah, thanks Karen for putting together the information that we have so far. So as soon as I get that figured out with my procurement team on how to put together that cost analysis, we'll be able to get this out on the street, which should be probably within the next week and a half. We do have, the vendor co-file obviously is very interested in this project and already lined up, and I had them register with Sam. So they'll definitely be submitting a proposal. I'm not sure how many other proposals we'll get in, but we're going to go through this required process of getting this out on the street and notifying the historically underutilized businesses regarding this project. But yeah, those are the updates I have on the other two projects that are in works outside of the tower project. I take it Commissioner LaPrade is currently working with the truck group and they're working in progress with the design specs for it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You want to,
Well, right now, we've got a promulgation study in, and we're looking into alternate sites for the tower sites that might actually yield a better coverage, but still work with the broadband system. And we've
Gotcha.
got a good look at the ones that we had originally outlined, so we're going through that process now.
Okay.
now, how do you want to press this? The panic button? How do you want to do that, Chad?
Well, originally, so we come up with something else that we realized might incorporate into the radio project, and that's the way our panic buttons work around our county facilities.
Okay.
And asked Trot about that, and this gentleman is sitting here with us. Sorry, to get you, Mr. Turner. He handles our panic button system.
Hmm.
I'm sure they'll be communicating together to see, and then was going to ask you if that would be something that would work into the communication system, or if there's an area of the grant that would cover that.
No, that could be a part of that communication system, the panic button. Absolutely. Yeah. Is that, so that's just a panic button for the facilities?
Yeah, so the way it works, I don't know if it makes a difference.
Can you hear him, Mr. Fair?
If you could,
Yeah,
if you have a
put on
microphone, that would help.
Stand up. There you go.
Okay, I don't
Oh, perfect.
know
Thank
if, the panic button, the way it works is, when you push it, it triggers a machine, which is our machine. And inside that machine has a portable handheld radio that the sheriff, puts in there. And it broadcasts a message over their radio frequency. So I don't actually broadcast any message. I'm using their equipment to broadcast a message,
Gotcha. Okay.
their radios. So I guess what they're wanting to know is, can they buy my equipment with the grant?
And the equipment would be the radios.
No, no radios. It would be my equipment, the equipment that we design. What it does is it integrates into a portable radio. So we take the lapel mic and we wire it into our equipment in order for it to broadcast a message out.
So yeah, sorry, I apologize. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the nature of the panic button system here. So it's if you could start over. Sorry, I'm just not.
Okay, so you have a panic button that is wireless, and what it does, it communicates back to a machine that is my machine. Inside that machine is a portable radio. So what we do is we take the sheriff's radio and we wire that radio directly into our machine. What they're wanting to know is if they can
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay.
the machine itself, I guess, with a grant.
Gotcha. Okay. So the panic button is installed on the radios, and the panic button communicates back to a machine at a centralized location.
No, it doesn't have anything the panic button and the machine are separate from the radio. The radio is just integrated to our machine. So.
Oh, okay.
So they're separate from it, but they integrate together.
Gotcha. Okay.
I hit this button, it's gonna trigger that machine up there, tell it it's in this zone for the courtroom. And then that's gonna go out and broadcast a message on the radio.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
We're looking at everything below the radio part, because the
Right.
radio's already in the grant, I believe.
No, I ain't yet. I don't need to be.
Gotcha, Scott. So it's basically the procurement of the machine.
Right.
Right.
Gotcha. So the panic buttons are already in place, and then it would be purchasing and setting up the machine, which would communicate with the current buttons and send a panic message out to folks on their radios in the field.
That's
We're looking
correct.
at a cost of about
Yeah.
roughly $5,600.
Yeah, $5,500.
$5,550.
Is my understanding correct, Scott? Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you know what's the estimated cost for this item?
It's about 5,500.
5,500.
Excluding the new radio that's in a.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be a small purchase. That would fall in the small purchase category. So that could be purchased with this grant money. with a small purchase, we don't necessarily need to go get quotes, but we do need to prove the reasonableness of the cost. So we would need to just, when we document this in the procurement file for this purchase, just put like a screenshot of another, someone else who offers this same thing, just because the government doesn't want you just paying, whatever. They want you to have a little bit of a price comparison on an item like this. So yeah, if we could get just like a screenshot or some sort of documentation of another vendor who offers this machine, to just show that, their offer is relative to what your offer is, and that's totally fine, because this falls under the micro purchase. This falls within the micro purchase category. But yeah, that would totally be an acceptable purchase. Absolutely. Yeah, just need to make sure that we get that other, publicized, either a quote or just any information that's publicized on the internet that just lists another vendor's price, just to show that.
Would Michael have to register with SAM.gov?
Correct. Yeah, he would need to register with SAM.gov. Yeah. That should take about 15, 20 minutes. It shouldn't take long at all.
Mr. Do you know how to, would you know how to do that? Register?
Me,
Yeah.
I've never been on it.
Scott, can you,
I couldn't do it either.
Kenny
We
has,
sent it to the vendor.
who?
Kenny has, Kenny has to register on Zandt.
It's not that hard. I just get a link or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it should take about 10 minutes. It's a pretty simple process, just entering your DUNS number and just some other information. So
One question though, the equipment that we sell is, we usually get sole source just about everywhere because we manufacture the machine ourselves. So we have.
oh, sorry, could you speak into the mic? I can see you.
We have normally whenever we're working with counties and people in the state and federal, we're usually sole source because we manufacture the machine ourselves. So the only people that carry our machine are the dealers that we allow to sell our machine.
Oh, okay.
So if we do get a quote, it'll be from a dealer, but it might be from a different state or anything like that. Is that going to matter?
So you're saying that this is like a proprietary thing? You're the only folks that make this product?
Right. This
Okay.
particular machine. So, I mean, they can go out for quotes, but it might not be anyone local. It might be from, Ohio or Michigan or.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily need to be within a particular geographic area. We just need to document that the price that Van Zandt County is going to pay for this is reasonable. So just any info that doesn't have to be a quote. It can be a quote, but it also could just be publicized information on the internet, or just to use a more crude example, like Best Buy or Home Depot or something like that.
Okay.
Anything else for Mr. Bass?
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Mr.
Yeah,
Bass.
and Commissioner Score, before I sign off here, if you all in the meantime want to be kind of maybe draw up an additional short list of projects that we want to pursue. Obviously, I know this radio tower project is going to take a couple of years, and so obviously the funds need to be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and expended by December 31st, 2026. So I just want to, kind of see if we could get moving in terms of you guys coming up with a short list of projects that we want to pursue, and then starting on those, because there might be some other projects in there, that could take a couple of years. I know the jail project was mentioned, some other stuff like that. So yeah, if you all could start, brainstorming and come up with a list of projects that fill the remaining budget that we could start on, that'd be awesome.
I'll probably be sending you an update plan on the renovation of the jail in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Great.
We've added a little courtroom for the public to attend hearings.
Okay. They'll have some input on it, you think?
He said you'll have some input on.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'll
Okay.
email you, I'll email it to you, then I'll explain what's going on.
Okay, great. Well, that's all I had.
I got something, Mr. Bass.
Yes, sir.
Since we got this final rule that's going to allow, kind of open up that $10 million,
Correct.
I think all of us are a little interested in roads now. Could you
Yeah,
invest-
absolutely.
Could you investigate and see what type of hoops we're gonna have to jump through if we
Yeah.
spend some of that on roads?
Yeah. And I think, I'm pretty sure roads are less hoops. I don't, and you guys are a county, so I think that's even less hoops with roads, but I will do some research on that. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, an engineer is not required for roads. So that's good. But yeah, I'll do some research on my end in terms of the roads projects. But yeah, we could definitely do roads.
Yes, sir, because that's what our question was, that, we're gonna have to let it to engineers and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll do some research to confirm that on
Thank
my end. I know we have a little diagram that shows when an engineer needs to be involved on different projects, whether it be, electrical engineering or mechanical. And I'm pretty sure roads does not require an engineer, and that the county can do that work themselves. You can, you use the funds to pay for the materials and such. But I'll do some research and follow up with you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Bass? Okay, being done, thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you, Van Zandt. Bye.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
So, and then on the panic buttons, we're looking at $5,500. How long are we going to, what hoops are we trying to jump through?
I was just trying to find out what all might work with options we have out there. That's why I asked if they could pay it what we need to do. It's not something I'd drag out for 2 years.
No, but if we can, it sounds like that we can go ahead and do it and they would cover it under the grant money. Yes, he signed, as long as he's signed up to the,
That's what he says today.
Yeah, I was looking at finding ways to tie in if it's gonna have to go over the Arizona radio, or if we could tie in another means or whatnot. Just trying to get a chance to get some answers from Trot. Like I said, I hadn't even thought about the panic buttons, and I haven't had none of that plan in my projections, so I've got to work all that out.
Well, since you are working on this, it might be a good idea to visit a whole bunch of locations, if it's on pay for it, got the grant, eventually. You might want to look at Grants Lane, Wills Point, Ben Wheeler, because you
Exactly.
could.
Go ahead and get those IP in place at the other
Well, even if
entities.
you don't do IP or you want to do just radios, you could just pay for the radios for those locations, but those boxes are really old. Anything electronic, your PCs only last, 5 years typically, and then they start going that in. These things are like that, but some of those have been out there for 10, 15 years.
Oh, more than that, I'm sure.
So-
I know where Grant's Lane
Yeah,
has been there.
I think it's there when you took over.
It was.
yeah, so they're
You
pretty
can-
old, so
We need
if
to-
it's a solution you are looking at. The only bad thing is the machine that's upstairs can only handle 5 satellite locations. So anytime you add more than that 5th one, then you're gonna have to buy another machine. So
And none of our
JP2.
can annexes are already on
Wills Point, Grants Lane, East Annex, and Ben Wheeler so far, so.
And then DA.
Well, the DA's tied into this machine through
Okay,
something.
so that's what we got, is 5.
Yeah, we got 5, so we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it might be something I want to revisit for 2 years from now, to go ahead and put those in there.
Then we definitely need to work with Trot on seeing what we need to engineer for that in that program. As you're looking at need to replace everything everywhere.
You just tested the other JPs when you did the batteries too.
Yeah, I did.
So you know,
all the things.
The only one that's not working.
Was the JP2 lines. But everybody else, every couple of years I come down here and I do a service, I test everything to make sure that the buttons say what they're supposed to say and on the right location. And I just did that, that's how we found out that the JP2 was working correctly.
And the JP1 wasn't working, but we got it going.
Yeah, they just had to, what happened was in JP1 is, Grants and Lee changed their radio frequencies, their PL tones, and they didn't go in and program that radio. So all they did was send their radio guy out there to reprogram that radio with the correct frequencies in it, and that's what. So,
We're fixing to make another change. They're fixing to switch that repeater into a digital mode, and the radio on your system is not capable of that. So we're gonna have to rig up an external antenna to talk to the Wills Point tower.
yeah, we did that. There's an external antenna up there. For some reason, there's not a connection. It just needs a connection, so it should be able to get the Van Zandt County tower through there. The antenna that's on top of the building. It's just a matter of getting or the gentleman that was out there that programmed the radios yesterday, he should have put a connector on it, so I told him that no matter what, I wanted to hook up that external antenna, and I think he was one who originally put the antenna.
I don't think he got a part with him, so he's gotta get it.
Is that David?
Yeah, if we can get that part, we should be able to go inside the machine and change the radio frequency, whatever you want to, that's Lane, Van Zandt East Tower, Van Zandt County Tower.
So that Wills Point's the nearest SO repeater?
Yes, sir. There's a repeater in Grand Saline now too, but the radio that's in his system isn't capable of working with the Grand Saline repeater.
Not with the antenna, the antenna that comes on the radio, it's on the outside there.
So to talk to the Wills Point, we gotta go to the external.
And there's an already antenna there, it's just a connector.
I just wonder why we're on the SO frequency, if you're gonna get off the Grand Saline frequency, you go to the SO repeater in Grand Saline, right?
There's not an SO repeater in Grand Saline. Grand Saline PD had set up a link and then they switched over to a regular repeater and the radio never got changed. That's when we got to rig the external antenna, talk back to the Wills Point one that the county owns.
Well, they used to use the external antenna,
Yeah, it was hooked up at one time.
and it was, and then they come in there and the
They put 'em on.
Rita and them hired a company to come in there and they worked on it. Quit using they disconnected the external antenna, put the little handheld, which was in that box.
The
And
handheld-
then it would reach to the water tower. It would reach to the water tower there in Grand Saline and then transmit from there. Well, the company they hired, they worked on it and couldn't get it, never could get it up and going. Then David English come in and worked on it and he got it functioning.
Right.
I don't know what he did, but he got it up and running, but I don't think he was still using that external antenna.
Well, if it becomes a real big issue, I can get a $200 antenna, put it on top of that first and put a connector on it. They're not expensive. It was just that they were using somebody at the time for the radio communication, so they were the ones who put the antenna up. And I said, all you have to do is connect it to the top of the radio. And I think it was hooked up at one time.
It was.
Now it's disconnected.
When they built that restaurant, I think, wouldn't that block the signal? Something like that, or something that blocked it when it came up.
But David's aware that it needs the adapter and next time he comes out, he plans to
It
bring.
should be fine. It should be able to get any tower that you want.
'Cause
I
he's-
will look at the other locations with this grant. That sounds like a good idea. Good one. I mean, see you guys a ton of. Y'all can pay for it out there.
But one way or the other, we're gonna resolve it next commissioner court meeting. It's on the agenda, so we'll resolve
Be on you, that.
it. You don't have to be back if you want to.
Might be in communication with you between now and then.
For some reason, y'all need to come back to some of that.
Don't you just say that?
Yeah, we've
I'd
got
rather show up.
Judge Plaster, and she may be watching now. She was watching and she's already texted me and said her doors are hollow core doors and CPS is meeting over there. And the problem is not from somebody trying to get into the building that are locked out. The problem is when you're having some kind of something going on there and something goes wrong when you're in there. I mean, that's why we all wear seatbelts for that one time that you're gonna have a wreck, not for all the times you don't have a wreck.
When I was told that
So we-
CPS was over there and probation, there's no telling. So you revoke somebody's parole and they pull out a gun, it doesn't matter what kind of doors you have, they're getting in.
So we just, and now that we know it's not working, we're making we've gotta act on it.
Yeah, we're gonna act on it, yeah.
Can we pay for that out of another fund? We still reimburse out of the grant later?
that you can't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so.
But there's about 60,000 in the technology fund. I don't know what's in the security fund.
But still, we're gonna have adult juveniles going to pay their own. We're gonna get in trouble if they don't stand on their own and they stand on our own. That's mixing funds. We don't need to do that.
And I can do that, I need y'all to do the quote.
There you go.
Separate it, and then y'all can decide what the commissioners.
Y'all
That'd
like
be good.
the 1/3, 2/3 split because of the 4 and the 8.
That's
Is that reasonable?
probably appropriate, yeah.
I think that's reasonable.
1 and 2/3. So the cost of the county wants to share wants to pay for the cost of the wireless bridge, and they want to pay for the cost of 4 buttons. Y'all want me to charge them the 150 for their 8 buttons?
So we
Or
want to
y'all
split-
trying to
We
separate?
want to split the cost on the bridge. Correct? Y'all think they ought to be responsible for that cost on the bridge too?
I do.
Well,
I was thinking just split it
they
1/3
might
and 2/3 on the whole.
decide not to do it. That's what I was thinking. If they say, hey, it's not worth it to us, because they said over there for 2 years without a panic button, because they said they were going off on their own.
So they were going off on their own.
And we collected them and they stopped going off. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot. So I don't know that they could share the cost of the bridge in order to secure the.
Well, I don't mind. We've got to have the bridge, whether they're on it or not. So I don't know.
So if we put the bridge in the Justice Court Technology Fund, and then just make it pay for the panic.
That's the way I see it, but I don't know if it works okay on the payment on. We got to have that equipment there.
If the
with-
board makes
That's the
it
court's
appropriate, we can pay for it. They have to approve expenditure.
Everything that extends to them, they'll have to pay for, it, which will be the buttons.
Right, that's what I was saying too, which is about $1,200 in the cost of the 50,000.
The county's gonna have to pay for the professional part, because we have to provide real professionals. And that's our contract. County's gonna have to pay for the professional part anyway.
So what part would we not pay for? I thought that's
Well,
all.
I can pay for 1/3 of it out of the Justice Tech Court Fund, and then 1/3 of the county, the other part, the county's gonna have to pay.
Oh, okay, so okay, just different fund. Gotcha.
So
The
the
general fund, you'll have to pay for.
Adult probation,
If you're not gonna go through the grant.
Gotcha.
probation won't have to pay for anything.
That's right.
Okay, not even, but, so
No.
we're gonna pay for all of it, might as well pay for all of it. One security fund thing.
Can't.
Well, there's building security, and there's,
No probation out of JP money.
no, I'm saying there's a JP fund for the 1/3, and there's 2/3 that's the regular building security fund. Right?
Joe Carter.
Or y'all can put it in.
Which would just be the 1,200. It'd just be the 1,200, not 1/3,
Right.
not 2/3, it'd be 1,200 like
I mean,
this.
I'm just afraid if y'all wrap that in the strike stuff, they're not gonna have that much to do for you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, and
And you're just looking
that's
at
what we're talking
time
about,
there for nothing.
resolving it. We're gonna resolve it at the next meeting, one way that we're gonna pay you. And
If y'all want, I'll do a PO today out of my budget, and then we can work on getting that transferred from the other funds later, to budget amendments. Just to get it going.
Well, we didn't approve it.
We wouldn't have to, just if we got PO's approved. And there's the funds. And then come back and you do the budget on the next one. From the Justice Technology for the 3rd.
And then once we decide we're gonna pay for it, we can change the fee up.
If you want to put the rest out of contingency.
what about all of it out of technology?
Well, that's what Sandy was saying, you can't do all of it out of the JP's funds.
Does
You
this
can do
fall,
all of it out of county funds.
does this fall under the building and maintenance budget that Joe oversees, and is there funding in there to?
He probably doesn't have the funds in it.
Yeah.
You'd have to transfer from contingency. If you're gonna do that, you might as well, I've got enough covered, I might as well do it, and then we can budget that.
And as far as trot, we'll just look at the big picture where it said it all needs replacing anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean.
And that we got 2 years to plan on working with the grant.
Yeah, everything's working properly now. 2 years from now, you're not gonna replace all the ones Will's point, without any additional cost to the county, that's what I would look into.
And just decide which way you're gonna go.
I think I've decided which way I'm going.
No,
No.
out the door, home.
Would that work there? Do the PO? And then come back and, I mean, I don't know.
Approve a third of justice technology funding.
I don't know. They can go ahead and get it started, because they're, I mean, they need the paint back up there.
You keep saying a third, it won't be a whole lot more than a third.
Well,
It's the only thing that comes
How
out.
much would you be actually pulling out of justice technology? You said you can't pull the no probation part, but how much, what portion of that would be out of justice technology?
$4,300.
You're telling me a third of the bid.
Well, no, third. If you were to do the wireless, if you were to do the bridge and do the 4 buttons, which is all JP stuff, that would be $4,300. Another $1,200 would be the additional buttons.
You have to have the bridge for that one.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I'm
That
only,
bid, if we pull that bridge out of technology fund, which I think we're gonna have to approve that
Okay.
expenditure.
So I'll
And
email,
you get Judge Shin, Judge Dunn.
I don't know that would, I don't know if that would go. That's not gonna fly. We're gonna have to pay for it at a contingency.
Which is no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can pay for the paint buttons. How many paint buttons does JP two have? Four.
Well, no, JP2 has
JP has
4
4,
and
probation has
probation
8.
I can pay for the 4 paint buttons out there, justice court security.
You can't pay for the bridge out of security fund? Is security fund
Well,
the
the
same?
bridge
as
is
technology?
for the whole annex.
But you have to have the bridge just for the JP office, even if the annex decided not to do it, or the probation decided not to do it. You have to buy the bridge anyway.
If probation is not going. Do we know if probation wants that?
You don't know.
Stick them out.
they wasn't happy when you was taking.
Well, when I was telling them it wasn't working. They're like, it's not working.
My understanding is they-
That was years ago. That was back, how long ago was that? Yeah, it was a long time.
So they got them back somewhere after that.
But are they aware that they're not working?
Yes, I mean, well, the one office, in between the JP and that little storage building, that office knows that they're not there. Is it Dan? Is that his name?
That's Karen.
Well, the gentleman who runs it, probation, it's Carol.
Carol? Carl, whatever.
Car whatever.
Carl knows, yes, Carl. So,
Did they have panic buttons
yes,
over
they
there?
have panic buttons. They have panic buttons there where Carl's at, and then over there where all the officers are as well. So that's why they haven't told anybody.
If they come from right now, nobody.
That's correct. Nobody.
Why do we only check them every couple of years?
Because they're usually, I mean, you can, at any time, the county can go by and push one. You just gotta call the sheriff's office, say, hey, we're gonna do a test on the system and push one of the buttons. What I do every couple of years is I go by with my handheld walkie-talkie, I turn on the test mode, and I go test every single button, because you know what, Commissioner Muntemeyer switched this with Commissioner Pearson. And now, or the auditor's office, now the buttons are all mixed up, so I unmix everything and reprogram it every couple of years, make sure everything's on the up and up, because everybody's always playing musical chair for the dance. And every time I come out, it's, you know, 2 buttons that are moved or something like that, so I make sure everything's working. But if y'all, I mean, if y'all want to go like on a yearly deal, we can do that too. However,
And it ain't been too awful long ago that JP2 used it,
right,
because Steve responded, so I know it's been less than a year, it's worked.
it might have just happened.
No, it's been 3 or 4 months.
Another point we didn't bring up. The ones here we've got where they text message certain people. Currently, that one would be that's getting it on the IP, puts that now in that where the law enforcement will get text here, the courthouse, sheriff, there's a bunch of key people that get text.
I don't know.
That normally wouldn't hear a radio call.
Right, so on their phone, whenever a panic button's pushed in the county judge's office, it immediately beeps your phone that says emergency in the county judge's office. Those machines in those outlying areas, they don't do that. Justice.
But the new, what we're getting for them will do that. So it's another added thing. A lot of times, you know, they're now monitoring, like here's the courthouse, they don't monitor the radio all the time.
I don't think the radios work inside the courtroom.
How much is the bridge?
It's 3750. And the buttons are 150.
So did you check this one under here
Yes.
and the one in my office?
Yes.
I actually asked him specifically if you got the yours.
And I just brought him in.
I don't think you were in the office, I was making sure.
You checked
No,
mine
Christie.
out,
Because I didn't think you got checked.
Yes, I came to y'all's.
you came out to the county bar and checked mine.
County board. No, county board. no.
I got one.
No, I haven't.
I think I got a button when I got that desk from JP office, but I didn't know it worked.
No, it don't work now. If it's out there,
You on your own out there, buddy.
yeah.
So we good?
Well, we're gonna do let him go ahead and go a PO, and so we get everything
We'll
going. Yeah,
figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah. yeah, that way get started.
So we can get it done. I'll be here for you.
That's fine.
You're gonna go ahead and register with the grant?
Same.
Yes, I'll give you some different. I'll get
Okay.
information.
All right.
Because
So
we
sounds
do
like-
need to get,
Sounds not done, you just want to register.
but getting all the other taxes tied in like that would allow, then we would get, Will's point would have that where it gets taxed and then we got all the JPs.
But let me ask you this, I mean, this might be something, instead of the, I don't know what kind of money's in there, but it sounds like a lot. I mean, if you are gonna get something, I thought that was the best choice for JP two right now. Because it's the most cost effective and it does everything. But if your network goes down, guess what? They go down a short period of time with the network. If you're gonna, if the government's paying for it, and you got this grant, it might not be bad to put a standalone system in all those. If the grant will pay for it and it's feasible. Because the standalone system, if the power goes down, the internet goes down, everything goes down, that machine works. I mean, this machine right here, you cut the power off for 5 days and the panic buttons work no matter what. They might not send a text and email on it, but they will send the radio frequency out. So
It's to have that whole.
Well, if everything's down, it's not gonna matter.
They're
Well,
not gonna be in the
I'm talking
building.
about power, and, you know.
Oh, I see, yeah.
You know, something like that, it still works, or if your internet's down, this
Yeah.
one works. So it might not be a bad idea for y'all to, even though it's a lot more money, it's almost double, or it's more than double. But if they're paying for it, y'all might want to do standalone to those locations. It might be a possibility.
It's still tax money.
But that's something you're checking into.
Yes, that's, we're gonna be coordinating, see if they can find out about it. By standalone, we're talking about the system like the JP1's office, where it's standalone, sends a radio signal.
Standalone, see what we're proposing now is that there's piggyback off of y'all system. If they have standalone system, no matter what, the power goes off, the internet goes down, whatever, system still works.
He's talking about 5 more systems like here.
Yeah,
Like in this building.
if that's feasible for, you know, out of the grant. It might not, be. It's just an option, but y'all have, might be something I want to use later.
Start researching.
Okay, you're gonna start the PO.
I'll start with you.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, thank you guys.
anything else?
I appreciate y'all's time.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everybody got a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
You got 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye. We're adjourned.